Hello, beautiful people! In this video, we will discuss development models and methodologies. Models and methodologies emerge from the desire to standardize successful processes that were created experimentally. However, there are many different projects, hence, there are numerous models and methodologies. Let's explore it. First of all, let's clarify the difference between models and methodologies. And we start with models. Models are the foundation. They describe the stages of the life cycle. A model depicts the stages of the software development life cycle and what happens at each of them. With this knowledge, you can choose a specific model, predict what will happen on it, identify risks, and plan budgetary expenses for each stage. In other words, a model forecasts the stage of the life cycle, serving a predictive function. Let's explore several commonly encountered models. We start with a waterfall model. The essence of the waterfall model is that everything is done step by step. First, requirements are gathered. Then they are shaped into a technical specification. And after that, developers write code based on this technical specification. Then, it's a stage of testing product. This model doesn't allow for jumps between the stages or the possibility of parallelizing them. Due to these characteristics, this model is quite predictable. It's easy to manage and control budgets because everything happens sequentially, one step after another. However, along with these advantages come drawbacks. Development following the waterfall model takes a considerable amount of time, especially for the phase 0. Moreover, the fact that the testing phase occurs towards the end means that discovering a significant defect at this stage significantly increases the time required for fixing, especially if the defect lies within the requirements. Next, let's consider the V model. It's an improved version of waterfall. The main criticism of the waterfall model is based on the quality of the product it produces. That's why the left side of the V model duplicates the usual stages of the waterfall, and the right side shows the tasks for the testing team at each stage of development. For example, when business requirements are being developed, the testing team already creates a strategy for acceptance testing to evaluate how well the resulting product aligns with the initial business requirements. Another example, during the architecture phase, testers plan the strategy for conducting integration testing to evaluate how different parts of the system will interact. As for the merits of a model, it retains all the advantages of its predecessor and adds one more, the quality of the released products, as a lot of attention is paid to testing here. Also, it inherits all the drawbacks. It's not the fastest development approach, and if mistakes were made, correcting them in the V model is also quite challenging, making it difficult to backtrack to previous stages. Let me explain incremental model using an example. It might make it easier to understand. Imagine there is an idea to create a hotel booking service. First, we create a technical specification detailing all the functions we want in the final product. Then we initiate the development process. In the first release, we launch the application, allowing users to search for hotels and view the descriptions. In the second release, we add possibility for making a reservation. In the third release, we introduce a payment system. The essence of this model is that it allows us to see the product quite early on, albeit not with all functions. Importantly, we know exactly what product we are building from the start, based on our complete description. This model has its downsides. For instance, integrating enhancements might sometimes pose difficulties, and if the development is for a dynamic business, planning and prioritizing already planned functions might be challenging. Lastly, let's discuss the evolutionary model, also using an example. Once upon a time, Mark Zuckerberg decided to create a social network for his campus. He had the idea for the network, friending people, creating personal profiles, and sending messages. These were quite basic social network functions from our perspective. Unlike the incremental model, he didn't create a technical specification for the entire product right away up to its final idea. He implemented only the basic set. All subsequent functions were a result of the product's evolution, driven by user needs, market competitors, and emerging ideas for product development. These positives he includes the flexibility in product implementation. With this approach, the product can be adjusted to meet market needs. A positive aspect might be the absence of a necessity to write a comprehensive technical specification right at the beginning. However, on the downside, the development method faces difficulties in prioritizing ideas, particularly when decision makers for these ideas are numerous. Managing this process isn't as straightforward either, and new opportunities to predict the budget expenses on the product development. We figured out what a model is, but the bricks which a process consists of are particular tools that are provided by methodologies. If simplified, a methodology is a set of tools, techniques, rules, and templates that help create product more efficiently. Methodologies are built on models. For instance, one model can be the basis for a variety of methodologies. This slide contains only a brief list of known methodologies. In general, there are really a lot more. We won't delve into all these methodologies in this video, as it would be very time-consuming and counterproductive, because memorizing all of them without trying into a specific need and goal would be quite difficult. To finalize everything, let's further explore a widely used term, Agile. There is a lot of confused information on the internet about what it is. Some call it a model, some call it a methodology, but in fact, it's not. Agile is not a model and Agile is not a methodology. Agile is, so to say, a philosophy with a set of software development principles that emerged as a result of market changes. More precisely, it's a response to market competition. For example, Agile tells us that we should develop in short iterations, typically 1-2 weeks, and at the end of each iteration, release a usable part of product. This way, our product has a higher chance of being competitive in dynamic market conditions. Additionally, Agile is about communication, having many efficient meetings and discussing solutions of emerging issues. This enables swift and dynamic problem solving. Another principle of Agile is collecting feedback of everything: teamwork, release process, product. The feedback purpose is analyzing, drawing conclusions, and doing better next time. So let's structure all this information. Models serve as a foundation, defining the framework of the life cycle. Methodologies are built upon models. They represent sets of artifacts and tools that we will reuse in our process. Agile principles are adjustments made over methodologies. Let's illustrate it using methodology Scrum, where Agile principles came to life. Scrum is built on the incremental model. In Scrum, there are already tools that help embody Agile principles, such as abundant communication, feedback collection, and short release cycles. In Scrum, development occurs in short iterations called sprints, lasting 1-2 weeks, and at the end of each sprint, the team releases a usable part of the product. There is also a daily Scrum meeting, where the team convenes daily. Thanks to this tool, it's very easy to keep finger on the pulse and promptly respond to all difficulties encountered by the team during development. In fact, it's a tool from Scrum, but there is no restrictions to reuse this tool in any other process if there is a communication issues within the team. Additionally, we will demonstrate that we can borrow any tools from methodologies, including software tracking product-specific meetups and roles. For instance, the role described in Scrum as product owner has become so widely used. This role ensures communications with the client, understands their needs, and prioritizes. You can reuse anything, but it should be done smartly, understanding what purposes it's used. And that's all for today. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next video.